What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two things that went on in the NFL over the course of the weekend. Some news from late Friday night, and then in the afternoon yesterday. I meant to get this video up yesterday, but then, of course, the Toronto Blue Jays, the main MLB team I cover on this channel, they went out and they signed Yusei Kikuchi. So if you haven't taken a look at that video, check it out. That was the last video I posted. So check out that video if you haven't already done so. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about Blake Martinez, as the Giants have restructured his contract, as well as, of course, the Amari Cooper trade, as Dallas is, in the NFC East. So try to talk about any main trade in the league, but especially when it's, involving any team in the NFC East, I got to talk about it. So that's the case there. But yeah, of course, free agency tampering period opens up tomorrow, so we're probably going to get some news, not probably, more than likely. And then the deals are made official on Wednesday, so there's going to be a ton of content on the channel over the next week or two, and of course leading up to the NFL draft. So make sure you, check it out. Stay tuned. Be locked into the channel, of course. Main teams we talk about here: the New York Giants, Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto Raptors, Toronto Blue Jays. Four main teams in the four main sports that we talk about here. So if you're a fan of any of those teams, check it out. Please do that. Let's start off with the Blake Martinez restructure. The Giants have restructured his contract, so he's staying on with the Giants, and they are saving $6 million, which is very good. That's the approximate, according to some sources on Twitter. Over the cap doesn't have it yet. Says the Giant. It doesn't have the Shepard and Martinez restructures yet, but the Giants are in the positive, which is good. They're in the positive by about $9 or $10 million. That's before making, of course, the James Bradberry move. That's going to save $12.1 million. Expect that very soon. I'm surprised that it hasn't been made already. But you should expect that to, expect that move to happen early this week, with James Bradberry, and then maybe a couple other ones, maybe like O'Shane Ximenez, maybe some other minor moves, but maybe we see a Darius Slayton or a Julian Love trade. Maybe Nick Gates gets cut, but I think the Giants are still going to make some moves. But the Giants are moving in the right direction. I love that Blake Martinez is staying on. He's, of course, coming off the injury, as is Sterling Shepard. So these are, moves that the Giants, I think, make because there's, really no reward, but really no risk, but a good reward. So I think that's why the Giants are doing it. Blake Martinez was a key piece in 2021 and main piece to that defense. Of course, being a captain and the tackle machine he is, and the leader in the locker room, Blake Martinez is definitely a very important piece to this team, and the Giants are super thin at the linebacker spot. Not to mention, even after the move, they still are thin at that spot. So, don't expect the Giants to ignore that in free agency in the draft. They're still going to go out and get a linebacker, in my opinion, maybe even 2, 3, especially because Jalen Smith is more than likely not going to be coming back. If I'm the Giants, I would resign him. Maybe they still do, but really, the only main guys that can really play the linebacker spot in the Giants right now is Tate Crowder and Blake Martinez. Other than that, you don't want anyone else suiting up on Sundays if you're the Giants at the linebacker spot with what we currently have on the roster. So the Giants are going to have to go out and do that at some point, whether that's soon, late, we'll see. But I really like Blake Martinez staying with the Giants. I think he's a very high-impact player. I think he could be very beneficial to the team. I think we saw that last year. Our defense was a pretty big mess, and Donwing Martindale having him, is going to be nice. The Giants are going to have to figure out how they're going to build this defense. We're nowhere near built because James Bradberry more than likely will not be back, and the Giants are going to need to do something at the cornerback spot. I'm leaning that the Giants will actually take a cornerback in the first round, whether that's Sauce Gardner, whether that's Stingley Jr., I don't know, but I have a feeling the Giants might do that because if you take a look at the way the Bills and the Ravens have been built defensively over the past bunch of years, it's been built around the secondary. And if you take a look at the Ravens and Dominic Martindale's scheme, it's to rush the quarterback heavy and blitz a lot. And if the Giants are going to want to do that, they're going to have a strong secondary like the Ravens have had with Marlon Humphrey, with Marcus Peters, with Jimmy Smith. They've had a very strong secondary. The Giants need to build that up. Right now they have Adoree Jackson, of course, Bradbury, who might be on the move. Aaron Robinson's probably going to come in as that slot corner. They're also going to lose Jabril Peppers at the safety spot, but they still have Logan Ryan and Xavier McKinney. I would expect them to add a corner, maybe spend some money on it in free agency or draft one fairly early in the draft. But I really like Blake Martinez coming back. Like I said, I think saving $6 million is good. You would have saved $8.1 million if you cut him. So realistically, you got to view it this way: you're paying him $2 million for next season, which is very good because you're not going to get a Blake Martinez type guy at any point for $2 million. So that's a very good job by Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll and the New York Giants to keep Blake Martinez on. I think Blake Martinez likes being here. He obviously does, if he's restructuring and taking a pay cut. So it's very nice to see him do that, and I'm really happy and excited, and I think he'll be beneficial to the Giants, so I'm extremely excited Blake Martinez is staying on with the football team. The next thing I want to talk about in this video is the Amari Cooper trade. Cleveland Browns have acquired, the Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper in exchange for a 2022 fifth-round pick and a swap of 2022 sixth-rounders. Cooper was set to make $20 million next season. The Cowboys saved $16 million by getting him traded. They still carry a $4 million dead cap hit, but as a Giants fan, you got to be happy with this move. You take a look at the Cowboys. Today they went out and re-signed Michael Gallup, but just looking at, their team now, they don't have as many weapons as they did a year ago at this time. Amari Cooper at the end of the day was their number one wide receiver. There's no question about it. Last season he took a bit of a step back, but at the end of the day he still almost had 900 yards. He missed 2 games. He didn't start in one of the games he played. But you take a look at his past 2 years with Dallas, he had more than 1,100 yards, just shy of 1,200 yards in those seasons. He's still a big receiver. He had 8 touchdowns last season. The Cowboys are going to be losing that. He's not old. He's 27 years old, and they only got a fifth-round pick for him. It's a pick swap in the 6th round, so that offsets. At the end of the day, the Cowboys got a 5th-round pick for Amari Cooper. That shows you they overpaid Dak, they overpaid Zeke, and now they're having issues. They've traded Amari Cooper. La'el Collins is probably going to get traded. DeMarcus Lawrence might be cut. They might not be able to re-sign Randy Gregory. They're going to have issues when Micah Parsons needs a contract because he's going to have to be the highest paid linebacker in the NFL when he gets his contract. They're going to have issues there. Trayvon Diggs is going to get a big contract. They're going to have issues there. So the Dallas Cowboys have clearly overpaid. They really got to hope CeeDee Lamb can turn into better than Amari Cooper because essentially you have to fill the void for Amari Cooper, but at the same time you still got to have the production that he had. So it's going to be really hard for the Cowboys. They have less weapons, and with a team that realistically they weren't great last year, especially as soon as you get to the playoffs, they lose. They're going to have some issues. I can't see Dallas doing anything in the playoffs. They're going to be a first-round exit in my opinion, wild card exit in my opinion. It's just a tough situation in Dallas, but they overpaid Dak, they overpaid Zeke, and now they're having issues with it as we're seeing right now. So, as a Giant fan, I'm really happy, and as a Cowboy fan, you got to be upset. As for the Cleveland Browns, they're trying to get some weapons to help out with Baker Mayfield. Jarvis Landry, he has been given permission to seek a trade, so we'll see what happens there. He still may resign, stay on, especially with the news of Amari Cooper. But we'll see what happens in Cleveland. I think they're getting a really good receiver here. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's at the prime of his career if you're, considering a receiver. Maybe not the prime. His prime was probably in 2019, but he's still young. He's still going to be able to do good things. And he was a number 4 overall pick in 2015. So he's clearly a good receiver out of Alabama. But like I said, Cowboys, they've run into problems, and you're seeing the effects of when you pay your running back big money and you pay your quarterback, you overpay your quarterback. You pay your quarterback who's about in the 9 to 12 range, number 2 or 3 money. They're having big issues there. This relates to the Giants because realistically, you take a look at what the Giants have to do with Barkley and Jones. I want them both to be a part of the future long term. I just love both of them. I know Jones is not worthy of the second contract. Barkley's got to stay healthy and have a good year, but I really like them. I hope everything pans out with them. I hope they have a really kick-ass year this year. I hope they're able to prove to Joe Shane and Brian Daboll and the New York Giants that they are the future of this football team. And I hope the Giants, have nothing better to do than give them second contracts. And I hope it's at a good amount and they don't run into situations and problems that the Dallas Cowboys are having right now. Realistically, Daniel Jones, even if he has a good year, he's probably not going to get $40 million like Prescott. And Barkley will probably get a little bit less than Ezekiel Elliott. But hopefully the Giants are able to, turn things around this year. But we're getting a little off topic here. Cooper to the Browns for a 5th-round pick. That's the trade. But yeah, that's all I got in this video, guys. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Blake Martinez news, the Amari Cooper trade. Let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. We're going to have a busy road ahead on the channel. Of course, MLB free agency's opened up. NHL trade deadline's on Monday. And, of course, the free agency for the NFL and the draft is coming up. But that's all I got in this video, you guys. Please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Let's go, Giants.